Hey everyone, this is Kenny or Kent or whatever you want to call me, and you're listening to The Other Show.
We're going to start with the Olympics. It's 10 years away.
You just totally ruined the whole joke that I was going to set up.
Yeah, he had a joke, Spencer.
Yeah, I had a joke.
And how many jokes of mine that I was setting up did you come and completely take the wind out of the sails? Like Apollo Anton Ono in the 2002 Olympics when all the other skaters got taken out and he just leapt ahead.
I have no context for that because I was on my mission.
Wait, didn't he fall too? No, he slid too.
Did he fall?
The Australian won gold. I know this because I was in Australia at the time, much like Josh. We were on our LDS missions.
Ooh, we got a mission story. We got a mission story
already. We recently asked, should we tell mission stories? And we're like,
listen to the other show for context.
We basically said no, we shouldn't, but here we are. Spencer, we weren't here, but I do remember the Aussies being really proud that they got one medal in the 2002 Olympics.
Oh, that's right.
Which is winter, which they don't get winter down there. I mean, they get technically winter,
they get
but not
winter.
Technically.
They just don't get snow.
No, it's like Arizona getting winter. If they don't get
winter, what comes after? What comes after summer and fall?
They call it Fadinkum Sheila and Crinky Crocky Dingo. Those are the seasons, obviously. Crinky. Sorry to all of our Aussies. Yeah,
that's like claiming that the UK doesn't have the 4th of July.
Well, listen.
They do have the 4th of July. They just don't have Independence Day.
They have it because that's the day they lost us. That's the day we broke up with them.
Think about how many de-Independence Days they have to celebrate around the world. I mean, if I was a Brit, I'd be celebrating all of those.
Wait, like colonization days?
Yeah. Yeah, like Australia Day, India Day, the 4th of July.
Are they de-independence days or are they emancipation days? Because they don't pay us child support.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I mean, they do to Canada, kind of.
Yeah, well, Canada is just like bent the knee, right?
No, Canada kind of pays it to them.
Yeah, they're all in the Commonwealth.
Well, speaking of Canada, did you see that they just unveiled the new coinage with the king on it instead of Queen Elizabeth?
What? No. Please tell me it's not like the pink painted king that looks like he's taken a bath in blood. It's nothing like that, right?
No, it kind of looks like a less. No, it's like a less regal version of
the loony,
the George Washington quarter. Yeah.
Does the king look like a loony?
Nobody wanted Charles on their money. Elizabeth, great. I mean, that is tradition. She's a legend. No. But Charles, no. We're good.
So here's my question. With putting the head of a monarch or a queen, or it would just be a monarch. There's not a gender term for monarch. But by putting a monarch on a coin, if you did that in France, would that be considered a threat, considering their history with monarchs and heads?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, listen, it's a good point.
Well, there's our Summer Olympic reference right there.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because no one's watching.
I never saw Charles was in drag.
Because we're definitely not talking about the opening ceremonies and Papa Smurf coming in all awkward, but, whatever.
Yeah, are you guys even watching it, though?
No.
Not the opening ceremonies, but the Olympics at all. I mean, how are you checking the Twitter feed? Are you checking to see our medal count?
No, I mean,
but I did see in shooting sports, the U.S. didn't get any medals, which seems kind of awkward.
Isn't it kind of cool? They have Ghost in the Shell technology for shooting. Like, it looks legit. Like, have you seen the glasses they put on and the sights? They're pretty cool. I'm just saying.
Like the HoloLens.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the Asian countries are starting to win those more than the U.S.
Possibly
because of the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or they're measuring it in meters instead of miles or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I guess freaking metric system. Paul Verhoeven over to start training.
Mm-hmm. I know. Every time there's an article on Reddit or whatever, and they're talking about the metric system. I always feel obligated to chime in. I'm like, American here, can somebody please convert? And usually they do because they feel sympathetic for us.
Or you can just Google it. You can Google the conversion.
No, that's too much. No.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's too much effort. I want the answers on demand.
You can just tag the conversion bot and it will
Mhm.
convert for you.
Hey, Josh, can you explain something that
Interesting.
is I don't know if it's a unit of measurement, but I don't understand why a marathon is 26.2 miles. Why is that a thing? Why is it 26? Why is it 26.2?
It was actually, well, there's a reason why it's 26.2. And originally, I think it was about, I want to say it was about 25 or 26 miles because
Mhm.
that was the distance between Marathon and Athens
Okay.
uh,
Oh,
back
cool.
when the marathon, happened. But the modern marathon, it's 26.2 because they started the marathon I want to say it was 1912 or 1908 when the Olympics were in England,
okay.
and they wanted to start so the king and the queen could see the start of the marathon. So they
So
moved
what
it
you're
back.
telling me is the British who say the Americans will do anything to avoid measuring in metric are measuring in the king and queen's distance. Like, it seems kind of
Also,
I mean,
it's contradictory
hypocritical.
because, Josh, I know that you've run 5Ks. That is in the
Mhm.
metric system, my friend. 5Ks,
I know that's
10Ks.
Yeah, but that's about as cultured as I get.
Well,
Cultured.
then maybe that's what you should be asking is you should be like, can somebody convert this to how many 5Ks that would be? And they'll be like, it's 15 kilometers. And, you're like,
And
and
then
how
I'm
many
still
5Ks
lost.
would that be?
What does that mean in miles?
I've actually had this conversation with somebody before.
You have? Listen, deja vu to us as well. It's just share everything.
Oh man, I don't know why we haven't converted to it yet, other than we're just
Is it
stubborn.
easier to say 5K? Does it feel like you accomplish more instead of saying like it's a 2-mile run or 2 miles,
Oh,
2.1 miles?
It's 3.1 miles, by the way.
Oh, okay. Thank
And
you.
yes.
See, thank you for converting it for me.
Mhm.
I'm you online.
Yes.
Hey, you guys know how Utahns will measure things rather than in miles or kilometers or feet.
Yeah.
They'll measure it in time traveled.
Oh yeah.
It's 3 hours away. I'm going to start measuring things in Josh 5Ks.
It's gonna be a long time.
Hey, Spencer, if I
How
were
many
to go
Josh
to
5Ks is it from here to St. George?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. I'm gonna say it's
Yeah, so that
yeah.
would be.
wow.
So there's two. Well, okay, hold on. There's
Someone
two,
look that up.
four,
Like
it's about
seriously.
300 miles. It would
Story
be what?
problems on the other show. Doo-dah, doo-dah.
I think it's
Story
105
problems on
Ks.
the
It would
other
be a-
show. Your math teacher
It would be about
was right.
100. It'd be about 100, 101, probably about 100, 101 5Ks.
I want to
Is
see
that
you
right?
in
Yeah,
that
but
movie.
If we're
101
measuring
5Ks.
in, if we are measuring it in time, it takes for Josh to finish a 5K.
Oh, that's like 2 weeks.
How many? Yeah, how many Josh 5Ks is that drive? How long does
Which-
it take you to run a 5K?
Depending on the day, anywhere between 35 to 45 minutes.
Spencer,
Okay, so
my
how
brain
many
hurts.
hours is it to
Please
St.
stop.
George?
It doesn't matter. It's 4.5.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
let's just-
4.
People have
Look-
stopped listening. People have stopped
It's
listening.
about
Let's talk about the Winter Olympics and about how
It's
Salt
about-
Lake has the Winter Olympics now.
How about
and
Josh?
nobody really
Josh, while
cares
he's
'cause
doing
it's like
math,
10
while he's doing math in
years
his
away.
head, you and I
Mhm.
can talk the Winter Olympics. Okay.
Yeah, I
Now,
was just gonna
it's-
say, like, nobody really cares.
Well, we're gonna
It
figure
feels
this
like.
out.
Well, I do think social media cares, but I was kind of wondering, like, I saw a whole bunch of posts go up, and I'm like, did this just become official on paper? Because I feel like we have known here in the state, obviously we're the only
Mhm.
ones that really care, for about 3 to 4 months, right? Haven't we known for a while that it was going to be here again?
I want to say it's been a little bit longer than that. And
Okay.
the thing is, and we can thank the Winter Olympics of 2002 for this, really. The whole bidding system for the Olympics has changed since
Okay.
the scandal,
It's less
and-
dirty, yeah.
especially it's less dirty. Plus, a lot of cities.
Is it less dirty or is it just better hidden?
Well, but see, a lot less cities haven't been bidding on the Olympics as much as they used to in the past
Oh.
as well, because
It's so
the overhead, the waste of facilities. That's the reason why we were a front runner, because we have all of the facilities needed That's why Beijing got the 2022 Winter Olympics, because they had all the Summer Olympic venues that they could use for the Olympics.
Huh.
And,
By the way,
and you're seeing that with Paris, you're seeing that with LA. So that's changed a lot. But the bidding system changed, where instead of having all these bids and then doing the whole voting system that they used to do with I can't remember what they call it, not a round robin, but they name a preferred city, the committee does, and then essentially the host city, I guess, proves themselves or whatever, gets everything in line, and then they make it official. So we've kind of known for quite a while that we've been the preferred city for 2034. The only thing up in the air over the past, couple years was it going to be 2034 or 2030? And they went for 2034 because I think 2030 it's in Italy, in Milan, and I can't even pronounce that name. Cordoba.
Yeah, that's I think exactly it. Oh, here we go.
Disneyland is 20 Josh 5Ks away.
That's it?
If it's 10 hours, Josh runs a 5K, and about a half hour, it's 25 Ks. Josh 5Ks away.
You also have to put into account that I slow down the more tired I get. So
no, it's like a video game. This is a consistent run. It's like it's a refresh every time you start a new 5K.
We're really showing our American math skills here.
Listen,
by not being able to put into account fatigue and everything. Like, what if I get lost? I mean, that's another additional couple hours at least.
No, we're just measuring in the time. And if you want to put in fatigue, at the end of every 5K, I'll give you a 5-hour energy enema.
That would wake you right up.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Which end? I don't even know. So, Spencer, do you care about the Winter Olympics
at
all?
It's a suppository.
I suppose.
I mean, it's cool that Hazel will be the same age I was when the Olympics came through the first time.
That is cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, but Hazel and Howard will be roughly the same age. But other than that, like, the only thing, like, I can imagine when it comes here is how pissed off I'll be at the traffic, because I'm already pissed off at the traffic as it is.
That's where I was hoping you'd go with that, because when we were in our, Josh, for you and I, when we were 20 or 21 when the Olympics came, and Spencer, when you were 9 when the Olympics came,
I was 12.
Okay, so it's kind of a cool.
Thank you very much.
It's a cool thing to go and see the bands that are playing and see all these people traveling from around the world. But now, the older we get and the more time has passed, we're all just introverts, right? And so it's hard to imagine even wanting to be a part of that scene anymore and being mad at the busyness and the traffic and the restaurant waits or whatever. It's like I would avoid Salt Lake like crazy.
Well, here's my question. The only thing that I care about with the 2034 Olympics is what's going to be in our opening ceremony that we didn't showcase in 2002.
Okay.
Like, what is new in the last...
So I'm assuming we didn't have any biblical drag queens. So what did we have in ours? Didn't we have like talking dinosaurs?
Not biblical, Kent. It's Greek. Ancient Greek.
Sure. Yeah, good narrative. Anyways, what
Papa Smurf, you mean?
What did we have other than Mitt Romney trying to be really well, there was
there was 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11 had just happened months before. They had
they had in the opening ceremony?
They had the World Trade Center flag that flew over, the Trade Center. They had that there.
Oh wow.
By months before, you mean a year before?
No, it was 2000. It was February 2002, September 11th.
Was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
That would
it
be like
was
November.
because I got home a couple months after that. Yeah, it was. I remember because when I was living in Provo on the year anniversary of 9/11, and I drove by a Hoagie Yogi in Provo, and it said, "Rest in peace, America."
That's a little ominous,
That's
right?
A threat.
Because
From
everyone was
Hoagie
like,
Yogi.
everyone was doing their 1 year anniversary, like heartfelt messages, and they said, "Rest in peace, America." I was like, "Geez, Hoagie Yogi." Well, more like "Rest in peace, Hoagie Yogi."
Never
in that
felt
salami?
threatened. Never felt that threatened by a Hoagie Yogi before, but here we are.
Here we are.
Have you never been in a Hoagie Yogi? I feel the threat of food poisoning every time I even drive past.
Well, especially the
But-
one in Nephi.
But it's true. Do we celebrate like our Southern Utah, like beautiful horizons in the Winter Olympics? Like, what do they do now? Is it just a America
We
sort of celebration?
look, as somebody who has a prime age to actually watch and was not engaged in religious endeavors when
I
they
mean,
came through.
You weren't even a deacon yet, so I get it.
Yeah, I wasn't distracted by religious endeavors. I just told you that.
I know. Go
So-
on.
As he flips us off.
They had this girl skating, like this little girl skating around. She's supposed to represent like the imagination or like the innocence of the world or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know. She was skating around looking for the light that came in on the Olympic torch.
And then Hoagie Yogi took her out.
Well, and then they had like hoop dancers and like Native American dancers. And then in the closing ceremonies, for some reason, Kiss showed up.
What? Really?
So
I mean, he still might be
Of
on
all
a
the
farewell
bands to,
tour.
like-
Who knows?
I know. Wow, in
it
2034.
was,
Were the Osmonds
Mhm.
involved at all?
I believe so.
Because if
Yeah,
there
who
wasn't
do
a
we get now?
montage of Donny Osmond in the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, like, I don't
think
know.
there was. I think there
Okay.
was.
That's how
I mean-
that's how the opening ceremonies need to start.
But like, no, because we've changed a lot in the last 30 years between 2002 and 2034. I mean, there's still 10 years before 2034.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something new. So David Enchilada, is going to be involved. And Imagine Dragons somehow.
Oh,
Mhm.
and our mascots will be cookies. Giant cookies.
Oh,
Don't you
gosh.
think?
Gosh,
Big,
no.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And
you're
they'll-
right.
and a dirty soda in a trench coat. Yeah.
Wait, this just sounds like Aqua Teen
wanna
Hunger
see my
Force.
Dr. Pepper?
All right, I respect this. Like, I can't wait
Doom-
now.
The Doom video game was invented by a Utah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do an homage to Doom.
Mortal Kombat was also like pre-vised here as well. So, I mean, that could be cool.
Yes. Can you imagine as the countries come out, you hear Mortal Kombat? Dun, 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 dun,
Oh.
dun.
And at the side by like I'm imagining ice skating rink, and you could have a Shang Tsung guy sitting there. Oh, that'd be cool with like stone dragons on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah, flawless victory.
Sub-Zero starts sniping the skiers.
Or Hoagie Yogi.
Or Hoagie Yogi. Sub-Zero as sponsored by Hoagie Yogi. Okay. Wow.
Yes,
What has happened? I
please.
think we made the Olympics way more fun than they actually are. So,
You know what's kind of weird though, and I don't know if you've caught yourselves doing this, but doing the math in how old you're going to be in 9.5 years or 10 years, whatever.
mhm.
It's kind of a little depressing. I mean, for one, like I'm going to be 53,
Oh
but then
my.
you also think about it, like so much of the landscape and so much of so many of the entertainers that we have that were
Mhm.
there, in Salt Lake, 2002, they're probably not going to be around except for maybe
Right.
Kit.
Like the Osmonds.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Osmonds, I mean, they're gosh, I don't even
They'll
know
be
how
dead.
old. I'm pretty sure. You look at I'm not to bring politics into this completely, but I mean, look at the candidates that we have for for president. They're probably not going to be around.
One won't be
You know,
around, that's
like,
for sure.
It's weird. Well, at least one of them won't.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah, it's
yeah.
it's really kind of holy cow. Like this is really far away in the future. So
I don't listen.
I don't
why
know.
did you
It's
make
just
it all?
it's going to be
Why'd you make it
interesting.
so gloomy? Jeez, you really brought the
sorry.
room down. Imagine how old you'll be, and you'll look back at your life and have so many regrets.
Here are Kent and I deciding what's going to be at the opening ceremonies with Liu Kang and the rest of Mortal Kombat that are going to be fighting the Olympians. And you're over here like, thinking about your own Mortal Kombat. And
Josh, over here going,
like
slipping through
you
my
too,
fingers
like
all the time.
Bono could be dead. Like who knows?
Bono's a vampire.
Neil Diamond's not going to be around.
By the way, Bono is
Celine Dion could be gone.
Oh,
you don't know.
Next year, probably.
Actually, she probably will be. But that's okay. We can replace her with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, okay. Well, is that a segue? Okay, Josh, we're moving into a segue here, and listen, enjoy it because Spencer and I are going to geek out. So don't just not listen all of a sudden. Okay.
No, I'm just queuing up to talk about cocaine sharks later.
Okay. Then we'll hurry through this because I also want to hear about these sharks.
I've got my dice.
Yes. Spencer, the San Diego Comic-Con, which honestly for the past 4 years has not really been a thing, is kind of a thing again. Ever since is it though? Well, they're trying. Ever since Disney's done their D23 or the Star Wars Celebration, or DC's done their dumb fandom thing. Everyone kind of has their own Comic-Con. Yeah, it's dead. Everyone's done their own Comic-Con, but now that the writer's strike is over, COVID is over and done with. Please bless.
Can we have our own Comic-Con?
We do. It's every September. Josh, we go every year. Josh, we go every year.
Our own. Our own.
Josh, the other con?
The other Comic-Con. Mm-hmm.
The other con. It was last week. You missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. You weren't there?
We sent you an invite.
You're going to gaslight me on this one, aren't you?
We had some fans dressed up like Red Rangers that you could see through their entire costume. In tribute to you. So. In the Kamoto Ranger. The Nature Rangers is what they call them. Yeah. So anyway, so Comic-Con is a thing again because some companies, not all companies, but decided to have some reveals like they haven't in the past couple of years. So Spencer, where do you want to start with this? Do you want to start small or start big?
I mean, the only reason Comic-Con is a thing and is what it is now is because the big two, DC and Marvel, would announce their upcoming projects. I say we just focus on that.
Okay.
Because once we get more into the weeds, even with DC announcing Absolute DC, which is, if anybody wants to talk comics with me, I could not be less excited for a new comic line than I have ever been.
The redesigns of the characters in comics is atrocious. We'll talk about it after the show. I hate the new Batman redesign. I hate it. Anyways, sorry, Josh. We won't get that far. Let's talk about media that people actually watch.
Okay. Do you want to start with, let's flip a coin, DC or Marvel?
Josh, which one do you want to hear about? Oh, we're going to flip the coin. Okay.
Marvel.
You don't get a choice.
Fine. Josh, call
it. Tails.
And it is Tails. Marvel. So let's start with the big Marvel news.
I think
Fantastic Four is coming out next year.
Did we determine that Marvel was Tails?
Yeah, I said, hey,
sure.
I had DC, Marvel, Tails.
Okay, whatever.
I feel good about that.
I think we're just talking about whatever you want to talk about anyway.
Listen back. I said it.
Okay, so Fantastic Four, which we've already seen two versions of Fantastic Four on film in 2005.
Wait, they're doing another one?
Yes. This one is starring Pedro Pascal, Kirby
Hayborn? Kirby Hayborn?
I wish.
No. Yeah.
Vanessa Kirby.
Joseph Quinn.
The guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Joseph
Eddie.
Quinn. Yep.
Yeah, Eddie from Stranger Things.
And then Cousin from The Bear.
And then a pile of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be a pile of rocks.
So, Josh, the direction they're going to take this one is it's going to be maybe in a different, you don't care about this stuff, a different universe than the other Marvel stuff, but it's in the 60s.
It's not going to be maybe, it is a different universe.
Until it all comes together. Yeah.
Until it all comes together, yeah.
Josh, yes.
Okay.
As far as, yes, Josh.
No, I'm just kind of, well, for the lack of a better term, a little marveled at the fact that they're redoing a franchise that's just bombed at least twice.
Well, here's the thing: the Fantastic Four are considered the royal family of Marvel.
Are they though?
They're the
at
first
least not on
family
film.
Of Marvel, so they're called. Not on film, but they're the first family of Marvel, so they're going to keep trying until they get it right.
Yeah,
I'm cautiously optimistic, not about the casting. The casting in this has been atrocious.
Yeah,
from start to finish, and we'll get more into that later. But the aesthetic, I'm kind of digging the aesthetic they're going for here.
Yeah, me too.
What's that?
This is kind of like a 60s Disney live action film. Think like Journey to the Center of the Earth or Swiss Family Robinson kind of vibe.
I could dig that.
And then it's going to pull a Captain America and bring them into modern day, most likely, modern day MCU.
Most likely.
So, Josh, one thing that they did 4 years ago is Marvel Disney bought Fox, and Fox owned the previous Fantastic Four movies and the X-Men movies. And everyone's kind of been expecting them to make X-Men and Fantastic Four movies before now. But now Marvel's like, other than recently making a lot of money with Deadpool, they're saying, okay, how do we get people excited about the MCU again? And I think it's with now the X-Men and with Fantastic Four. I mean, yes, they're going to announce new Avengers movies, and they have, but I think it's bringing these two properties that people were very familiar with in previous decades. Anyways, sorry, Spencer.
Well, and it's like they've had some troubles getting the MCU people excited because they announced the Kang War.
Yeah, King Dynasty.
King the Conqueror. And that King Dynasty, and that completely fell flat with them introducing him in Ant-Man, which was a total flop.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Majors got arrested.
Jonathan Majors had
Yeah.
some major off-screen issues.
Mm-hmm.
So Disney has had to pivot hard, and unfortunately this has led them to making some less than creative decisions with the casting of this is a long-awaited casting, Doctor Doom.
Josh, do you
there
know
are
who...
tons of eligible people that they should have cast.
They're like, for example,
Josh, do you know who Dr. Doom is?
Josh, do you know who Dr. Doom is?
No idea.
Can you make a guess?
I thought you were talking about video games again.
What does he look like?
Dr. Doom?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you tell us what Dr. Doom looks like.
I don't know, I think probably large man, doomful looking.
Very doomful looking.
Don't know.
So Victor Von Doom is a royal lord from Latvia who has magical abilities and was severely disfigured and combines magic with tech to become this overlord. And the reason he's doing all of his evil things is because he saw a vision where Earth was destroyed and he had to conquer Earth in order to save the Earth. So that's Dr. Doom. He wears a mask, think like Man in the Iron Mask, with a green cloak.
So, Josh, he's actually in both of the previous Fantastic Four movies, different variations of him. And so, because he's such a big villain, and Marvel is they're in such need of good villains because they've had very, very few. Doctor Doom is a big one, a previous to Magneto and whatever they decide to do in the future. And so everyone was really excited. Oh, who are they going to cast? And people were thinking, oh, Cillian Murphy, Dan Stevens. Those are two of my favorites, even though I didn't want Cillian Murphy to touch
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen. See him again would be great. I missed him. And so, Josh, they had a big panel.
Javier Bardem.
Right? Isn't
Daniel
he going to
Craig.
be Galactus? Isn't Javier Bardem going to be Galactus? Am I making that up?
Yeah, but Galactus is a giant CGI creature. Like, you can have Javier Bardem.
So Josh, they have a big panel, and as Marvel does, they say, "Hey, we've got a big announcement. No longer is the next Avengers movie going to be about Kang, which was going to be their big bad they were trying to get to, because they had to fire the guy. They're like, we have a new Avengers movie coming out in 2 years, and it's called Avengers Doomsday, like Dr. Doomsday. Get it? And then they said, and there's only one man that can play Dr. Doom. And so they had a whole bunch of just minions wearing masks, and out walks this guy wearing a green suit, a green hood, and a metal mask, which is the iconic visage of Dr. Doom. And he takes the mask off. And Spencer, who was it?
Robert freaking Downey Jr.
Why?
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because he was the last person. He was in one of the last most successful movies.
People love
stupid.
him.
It's absolutely stupid.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, people love Robert Downey Jr. But here's the funny thing is the internet is completely split on this.
Mm-hmm.
There are, the MCU super fans who will eat up anything.
Right.
We're going to go see Shang-Chi 3 regardless.
Right. Yes.
they were gonna watch it all. They're loving and eating this up because Tony Stark has actually played Ben Doom in the multiverse. The Irredeemable Iron Man is a great comic arc with that, where contrary, kind of the flip, Victor Von Doom was Iron Man, not Iron Man Doom, but it's happened, and it's been done well in the comics. But then there's the other half of the internet that is rightfully calling this out as extremely lazy, creatively deprived casting.
Yeah, listen, I think the internet, and maybe this is just Twitter, I think people are calling this a desperate act. I mean, look, it's not desperate to get paid. I mean, that's pretty cool. But it's just kind of it's kind of like Marvel had this in their back pocket forever. They're like, hey, in case of emergency, break glass. And there was Robert Downey Jr., right? And I think to play Iron Man would have been kind of tarnishing how that character finished his arc. But then to have him play, and I think take this role, it feels overall cheesy. And look, it's going to get butts and seats. Look at Hugh Jackman. It got people to pay for that movie. And so they're going to make money. But why?
Breaking records.
Yeah. It just seems a bit trivial. I think like 2 years from now, I'll be like, okay. Yeah. All right. Good job. I guess 2 years ago, that did create a big shock. So Josh, that's like the biggest news out of Comic-Con, that Robert Downey Jr. is now going to play one of the biggest villains in Marvel. And the biggest hero.
I mean, I don't, obviously I don't follow a lot of the comic characters and everything, but I mean, knowing how big of a star he is and how close he's been to playing Iron Man, that's just dumb. Like, I think even just a novice fan would just be like, that doesn't sound right. He's Iron Man. He should be Iron Man.
I get the fact. Like, yes, you can't play multiple roles. Yes, he is an actor, and he's a really good actor. He can play roles other than Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. But you can't tell me that you're going to put Robert Downey Jr. in a metal suit and not think of Iron Man in a Marvel movie.
Exactly.
When there was great casting out there already. James McAvoy.
I'd watch it.
Michael Fassbender.
You mean as Magneto and in Professor X? They could have played someone else?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch it. Yeah. Okay.
If you're gonna do two, Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I love him. Okay, so that's kind of like the big news. I do want to know from everyone listening. Do you like this news? Are you more positive about it than maybe Spencer and I are?
I'm back to being more excited for the DC movies next year.
Okay, so what's coming out next year?
Superman.
Oh, okay, never mind. Just kidding. Who's on.
Playing Superman.
Creature Commandos.
Ugh.
And DC Studios unveiled a new logo.
Yeah, so DC didn't have much.
I need to Google this one. What, the new logo for Superman? There's a new logo.
Well, no, there's a new logo for DC, and technically it's an old logo.
Yeah, because they're pandering to Twitter.
They went back to the 90s
save some
logo.
cats. The one thing I was most excited about is they actually did confirm that the Batman, which came out in 2022, 2 years ago, it's going to get finally a sequel 2 years from now, in October, 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. And I'm very excited because I thought that was maybe going to be scrapped along with everything else they're doing. But thankfully, please bless.
Is that with the vampire guy?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
That's the... Okay.
Did a great job.
Did you see that one?
Okay.
Did you see the Batman?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I just remember.
You're like, why would I watch it?
The twinkling vampire played him, so whatever.
It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
Maybe I'll be talked into watching it.
I think there's a couple other movies I'd have you watch first.
But see, I think of all the superhero movies, just Batman, Superman, the very basic ones would be ones that I would watch.
Yeah.
So
I think you're fine there.
I mean, I can easily be talked into that.
Yeah, stick with the basics.
I trust your cinematic opinion and perspective, so I will do whatever you tell me to do.
Oh, I like that. Are we missing anything else, Spencer? Any other reveals?
Hellboy has a movie.
Oh gosh.
Hey, do we have phone calls?
Is it the same? Is it the same? Oh, hold on. I was gonna say the worst ever line. I think in any. I think it was actually the moment that I lost any interest in watching any superhero comic movie was in Hellboy 1, the first Hellboy, when he was talking about I think getting his girlfriend or whatever back from hell, and like, what did you say? I said, hey, you, come here, or something like that. And I'm like, this is dumb. I'm gone.
You're like, I'm out.
Like, that's like the worst line ever. Like, this is dumb. But before we get to phone calls, and I hope you're done with talking about Comic-Con.
You hope we are?
I do want to mention this. Yes. Well, because, hey, as much as I don't nerd out about this stuff, doesn't mean I'm not a nerd in other things.
Yeah.
But I just want to mention this, and I want to ask if anybody else is going to any of these events, but D23 is happening next weekend.
Oh, okay.
And this is when we're supposed to be getting some hopefully some announcements with Disney parks, also new projects. It's going to be happening next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
cool. It'd be cool to hear about some expansions.
To see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to be actually down in Disneyland next week. I am coming back on Friday, which is the first day of the convention. But
okay,
you're gone, Josh?
Yeah, I'm going to be gone next week.
But Kent's going to be gone too. He's going to be in Canada.
I'll be gone too.
So is it a one-man show?
The Spencer Show.
Oh gosh,
you wonderful. Listen to that laugh.
Finally, we can tear some wieners.
You should be Dr. Doom, Spencer.
Pretty much.
I haven't had a role in the MCU yet.
Dr. Doom, as sponsored by Oogie Yogi.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh. So yeah, phone calls, huh?
Hey guys, this is KP, and I'm just calling in response to your request for Disneyland or Disney ideas that you want talked about on the show. I think what you really, really need is to get some correspondence for the different parks. You know, have somebody down there in Disneyland that can research a lot. We've got the Disney World stuff covered, but there are still the foreign parks, and you need somebody to go report on those. So what I am suggesting is I am the perfect candidate to go. The France one, I do have connections over there that can help me when I get over there to be able to talk to people. But then most of the parks are in Asia, and I am the perfect person to go to Asia. I'm already well versed. I've lived in Asia, and if I go over to Japan, I can meet up with my wife's family and her extended family, and they can show us around and take us. So what you need to do is send me and my wife out there. You cover all the expenses, we'll report, we'll give you the best coverage you've ever seen of those parks, those foreign parks. There's 4 of them out there. So that's my proposal. Send me out there. I'm happy to take that on for you guys so you don't have to do it yourself. Thanks.
Well, KP is a friend with benefit. So I will say this. If our Patreon ever reaches the goal of $2,000 a month of real patrons, not us putting our name on there multiple times to drive the number up. If we reach $2,000 a month, we will send KP and his wife out to Japan to go be a correspondent at Disneyland Tokyo.
I mean, all we need is just some ominous, anonymous contributors. So
he did promise the best coverage.
Yeah, he promised the best coverage, and I honestly believe he's not just going to take our money and run.
I mean, he should.
Like, he's not just going to get sent to Japan and then just ghost us.
You know, that was really selfless, KP. That was really kind. I'm gonna think about that for a while, and then come with you guys if that's okay. You know. All right, who else we got?
Hello, this is Mrs. Robinson, and I was just calling because last night I had a dream about you, Josh, and I wanted to tell her to you before I forgot it. I have a good knack of remembering my dreams, and so, like, I've dreamt that Jaws was chasing me up I-15, and his fin would break up through the road like it was breaking through water, and I've dreamt that I was a spy training, and I was using my kid's elementary school gym to train in. Anyway, in my dream last night, we were walking through Lowe's together with a couple of my sisters, and we're trying to find a project for you to work on at Lowe's. And suddenly Marianne walked by, and you said, "Oh my gosh, that woman is so beautiful." And we're like, "Let's go talk to her." So we all go walk up and start talking to her. And as we're sitting there chatting, you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a better story of how we met than at Disneyland." Which obviously not, because, Disneyland. But anyway, I just wanted you to know that for whatever reason you popped up in my psyche last night, and I'm sorry, Kent and Spencer, not this time. Maybe next time I'll have a dream about you guys and let you guys know. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. We'll chat with you later.
Now let me guess. After Lowe's, I took her to Hoagie Yogi for some food.
What is this, a singles ward?
I mean, hey, Kirby Hayborn's going to show up anytime in this dream, so...
Second reference. Whenever someone says, "Hey, I had a dream about you," your mind only goes to one place. Lowe's, obviously. Spencer, are you a little upset you haven't been dreamt about? Because I feel like we're really missing out here.
Honestly...
Although I'd never be caught dead in a Lowe's, but still.
Stephanie might get a little jealous, so I'll stick in her dreams, and if I'm in anybody else's dreams, I'm Freddy Kruegering it up.
It's really funny, though, that you bring up Lowe's, because I think I shared this experience sometime last year, because when Marianne and I went to Lowe's, which I thought was Home Depot, and until I figured it out halfway through my shopping trip.
Same thing.
We actually almost got roped into a kind of a swinger pineapple party. By somebody. Yeah, didn't I tell you this? I'm sure I told you this.
I remember
story.
That. Yeah, I remember. You talked about it.
Lowe's.
Episode 243.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. So this lady basically tried to become friends with us, invite us to a party, and I was wearing my pineapple shirt. So I mean, I think that kind of says it all.
Lowe's hanging fruit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Lowe's hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
You had to throw
but
it in
anyway,
there.
I mean, maybe subconsciously. I'm just saying, maybe subconsciously, Mrs. Robinson is remembering, that story, and that's what triggered this dream. So,
well,
also,
Josh,
go ahead.
You let on some information there.
Mm-hmm.
You wear pineapple shirts apparently to Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
I always make sure I'm wearing my hat, my cowboy hat, and my boots when I go to Lowe's, so I can fit in better. Kent, do you have a hardware store going outfit? Like a special outfit you put on for the Lowe's?
It's called Stay in My Jammies and look around the house for a screwdriver. I do not go to Lowe's. Come on. Although I did for Ant Killer, but that's another story altogether. Yeah, I call you Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, take it easy. Also, Freeway Sharks, how's that not been made into a movie? Okay. Who we got
Freeway
next?
Sharks. I mean, they have. It's called Street Sharks. It was a TV show in the 90s.
You would know.
Hey, guys. We remembered to call you guys before you recorded. So I figured what better way to kill some time than calling you guys on my way to a therapy appointment. Anywho, in the fun traffic on I-15 South, couple of things. Josh, keep the fro, keep the beard. Do not shave the beard off. I don't need any more serial killer pics with glasses you got going on. Yeah, get rid of that. Second thing, it's been a while since I called in, so you guys better play this on the next show. Otherwise, you will have some explaining to do. No, just kidding. Anyway, last thing. So I'm just kind of wondering what Spency and Kent think about RDJ being Dr. Doom in the next Avengers. I myself hate it, but I'm not real familiar with the whole multiverse thing. since I am the DC fan / Superman guy. I kind of sort of know what Spency thinks about it, so I more so kind of want Kent's opinion on it. Josh, just kind of sit there and twiddle your thumbs while Spencer and Kent are talking and geeking out about Marvel. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Love listening to you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, Rick.
Nope,
First off,
he told you to not
just
talk,
rewind.
Josh.
No.
Josh,
I'm
he
just
said
saying.
you can't speak up.
Listen to Josh. President Rick has spoken, the prophet, seer, and revelator of this podcast.
Well, that's not blasphemous. I'd rather watch a Smurf at the Last Supper.
He's a Dionysus. That's who he is.
Anyway, I was just gonna say, Rick, just rewind because you'll get that. Also, I have some bad news about my beard.
I know.
I do kind of look serial killish.
Yeah, Blue, I'm going to need some extra therapy here.
Yeah. I make bad decisions. And
Also,
sorry.
yeah.
It's
Hey,
okay.
Rick, can we hang out and talk about if you're excited about Superman Legacy or whatever it's going to be called or not? Because we need to talk. Anyways, we've already geeked out enough. By the way, thank you, everyone, for calling. We want more calls. Josh, do you have that number for people to call next time around?
Absolutely. If you just call 801-508-4989, you can leave a message. Make sure it's under 3 minutes or you're going to get cut off. But yeah, 801-508-4989.
Okay. Well, let's do one roulette story. I know we have a whole bunch.
Yes.
And I don't know how we picked just one, but Spencer, do you have the stories ready to go?
I do, and I have a 4-sided die. This is an actual 4-sided die.
Okay.
Is it
Mine
real?
is the
Or my-
other show and tell. It is
Okay.
blue with white. It came in
Respect.
my D&D intro set. So the DM
Oh.
basics.
Like training wheels.
Yeah, exactly. So number 1 is going to be Pizza Hut. Number 2 is going to be Cocaine Sharks. Number 3, electric scooters. And number 4 is going to be boneless wings.
Can I roll it for
Okay.
you?
You can't roll it virtually. I have it right here.
Yeah, it's
Number
gonna be-
4.
So wait, it's cocaine sharks?
No.
It can be cocaine sharks.
It's cocaine sharks, isn't it?
It must be cocaine
Look,
sharks.
it's-
4 is
no,
divisible by
number
2,
4
which is
was
cocaine
boneless
sharks.
wings.
Cocaine sharks.
Cocaine sharks.
Cocaine sharks.
Alrighty then. You pulled a Qui-Gon Jinn with what's his name? Your Jedi
Sebulba?
mind tricks do not work on me.
No,
to-
Watto. It's
Toydarians.
Watto. Yeah, it's Watto.
Watto. Yeah, you pulled a
Yeah,
Watto.
come on.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
Watto. You're
Also,
Qui-Gon.
if you say something convincingly enough, it's true.
Scientists in Brazil have come up with the first evidence that sharks are being exposed to cocaine. Rachel Ann Hauser Davis, you know it's serious because she's got 4 names, a biologist who worked on the study at Brazil's Oswaldo Cruz Foundation. Oswald, I thought he was a penguin guy.
Yeah.
Told NPR that they dissected 13 wild sharp-nosed sharks near Rio de Janeiro. All tested positive for cocaine in their muscles and livers. The key findings of the study are the presence of the cocaine in sharks. Hauser Davis says the actual high levels of cocaine detected in the muscles is indicative of chronic exposure. Narcotic traffickers being chased in the high seas often toss bales of cocaine overboard, but Hauser Davis says it's more than likely the sharks in the study were exposed to Rio de Janeiro wastewater contaminated with the drug. Probably the main source would be human use of cocaine and the metabolization of urine and feces discharge. And the second source would be from illegal refining labs, she says. Hauser Davis points out that the cocaine effect on the brain and could lead to hyperactive behavior among sharks. Though I've seen street sharks, so I know how hyper they can get.
Yeah.
Though she says the issue needs more research. The findings in Brazil add to a growing body of research on marine wildlife and cocaine. For example, in 2018, pop-up ads.
Oh.
For example, in a 2018 study in the United Kingdom, I even guessed, I've been doing this accent just because it came naturally.
Go on.
That's what I assumed
Naturally?
she sounded like.
Mhm.
That's what I assumed she came at. Yeah. Study in the United Kingdom found that eels exposed to cocaine were having trouble mating. Tracy Fanara, that's a fun name, an environmental engineer in the University of Florida, told NPR the findings aren't surprising. Exposure to recreational drugs can slow down their processes to the point where they miss migration periods and all essential survival for their species, Fanara said. That's my southern accent, okay?
Oh my
I'm so
God.
southern, I went to Australia.
Oh my
She
gosh.
took part in
Wrong hemisphere.
she took part in a documentary last year called Cocaine Sharks, in which scuba divers tried to determine whether sharks were being exposed to the drug. How do you do that? Like, do you just go underwater with a stripper and put it on and like, if they take a bump, then they're on cocaine? Cocaine isn't the biggest problem sharks face, but Fanara said, what is the biggest problem? STDs?
Human.
Fanara
It's
says
human.
the documentary was
It's
an
a human,
excuse
Spencer.
to remind- But Fanara says the documentary was an excuse to remind people that all kinds of human pollution are wreaking havoc on ocean life. You know this could be real catastrophic, but cocaine does a good job of getting people's attention.
So-
yeah, it does.
When they made Cocaine Shark, and I mean legitimately, not like a Redbox quality
Just
movie,
ask John Belushi.
should we call it like Great White? Right? Doesn't that kind of make sense? They call it Great White.
Great.
Or is
Yes, it does.
Or does that sound a bit racist?
No.
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 Okay, thank you.
There needs to be another name or adjective in the title.
As long as
though.
it's not like Great White, A History of the World.
Yeah. Thank
that
you.
would be racist. But then if they make Cocaine Bear, they make Cocaine Bear. When they make Cocaine Shark or Great White, you know that they're going to have to finish the trilogy, and it's going to be Cocaine Bear v Great White.
Yeah.
Because that has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it happen?
I apologize. I meant to say Great White, the birth of a nation.
Same.
It's not getting better for you.
No. Spencer, my favorite part about that story was not the facts, was your accents, the ever-changing accents. You're a man of many talents.
You're welcome.
The man of four voices.
I'm a man of four.
I was just
four.
waiting for you to break out like the Elmo accent or something.
No, I got English, British, Scottish, and Australian. And let's be real, those all kind of blend together to Indian at some point.
It's true.
Okay. With all that, Josh, you want to take us out?
Oh, yes, Mr. Kent, I will end this show now.
You've just listened to The Other Show, starring Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. The Other Show is produced by Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. Show design and audio editing is done by me, Josh Hansen, and sales manager is Spencer Myers. The Other Show is generously supported by our friends on Patreon. A huge thank you to our Friends with Benefits tier. These friends are contributing a minimum of $25 a month, which in return comes with some rather significant benefits, including the weekly off-the-cuff episodes of The Other Show, monthly bonus episodes, quarterly live Q&A shows, and exclusive swag and perks. A huge thank you to our favorite Brit, Jonathan Vaskar, the lovely and talented Mrs. Robinson, the one, the only Chris Anderson, Brandon from Popfly Cards, Lady Terry A. Finley, the proud Disney mom, Tanya Budge, the other Keith Brown, it's Rick, not Dick Smith, Dave, and of course, our newest friend with benefits, Melanie Milring. To support The Other Show on Patreon, visit patreon.com/The Other Show to join. Please rate, review, and subscribe to The Other Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are found. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. To better connect with us and other fans of The Other Show, join our Facebook group, The Other Group. For past episodes, links to our other shows, and to shop for show swag, visit our website at theother.show. And remember, when you're not listening to me here on The Other Show, you can hear me on my other show, The Party in the Back.
You can hear me on my other show, Bacon Cell.
And you can find me playing pickleball August 7th at the kitchen to benefit Youth Impact in Ogden.